now we're at the time where the Hamashiach is getting ready to come.
And hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I am the Lord.
Last words, brother.
Shalom, shalom, ma.
All right.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. All right, Yasharel. Shabbat shalom.
That's right. Shabbat shalom, Yasharel. Let's get it on
Pray
this
that you
holy
all are
day.
having a blessed and holy Shabbat. Pray that you all are really doing the right thing and you're honoring the Almighty Yahweh.
Come.
What a day, Israel. And on one day, we can look up and we'll all be together worshiping on the Shabbat together. Man, but until then, Israel, we got to put that work in. And with that being said, the disparity of modern day single motherhood. Now, some of y'all probably like, man, why y'all always on the women, man? Y'all always dogging the women out. Let's get one thing straight, Israel. All right, we have to address all wickedness because this is not only the women; it's these Pookies and the Ray Rays and these henpecked soft these dudes out here that acting like women. These effeminates. So Israel, we got to address it because it's all connected. All right. Now you can go back and you can research, man. I mean, don't be surprised if the truth comes out. I mean, bold in your face, which it is, that the DEA and the FBI had secretly, which they did, weaponize black women against the black family and weaponize these effeminate brothers. Everything was not by coincidence, Israel. Even Psalms says that. It says, let us cut them off from being a nation. All right. Matter of fact, you know what? Let's go there right quick.
Come, bring it out, Doc.
Let's go there right quick. I don't want you to hear just from my mouth. You got to hear this stuff from what thus says the Most High. All right. Psalms 83. Let me make this bigger right quick. I don't make that bigger. All right, Israel. Let's look at Psalms 83. I think it's still not bigger. Well,
You got it maxed out?
yeah, I'm trying to max it out, but for some reason it just didn't do anything. All right. All right, there you go. All right, in Psalms 83 it says, for lo, your enemies make a tumult, and they that hate you have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against your people and consulted against your hidden ones. We're scattered to the four corners. So right there tells you that we're hidden. It ain't these fake Khazars over there claiming to be us. Verse 4 is they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Yasharal may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against you. And Israel, if you don't believe this written word, all you got to do is just look around you and see what's going on. These immigrants that they're bringing in, you think they're bringing them in to be your friends? No, they're bringing them in to bury Israel. To bury Israel. And this thing is serious because these people have been trying to completely cut us off. But, our people keep trying to follow their ways, clinging to them like no other. And it's like every single brother out there I see, it's like they talk like they can't live without white people. They can't live without the heathens. It's always got to be some kind of involvement. So when we're dealing with this stuff, you got to understand how skillfully they put all this stuff into play to weaponize our black women. All right. Now we know that this is not referring to the righteous sisters out there who are truly keeping the commandments with all their heart, soul, and mind. But Israel, you got to understand, we're only as strong as our weakest link. So in other words, if the weakest link is weak, ain't nothing. The whole engine ain't going nowhere.
God.
It ain't going nowhere, Israel. And whether you like that or not, is mass punishment. And hey, look, our people wandered in the wilderness of 40 damn years because of a few knuckleheads. But what about the righteous brothers and sisters that were keeping the commandments? What about them that were obeying? Israel, the Most High is going to put us in captivity together, and He's going to bring us out together. All right. So, and don't worry, the heathens, they're going to suffer tenfold. All right. All we have to do is just keep these commandments, and stay righteous. All right, keep these commandments and stay righteous. Hey, by the way, Israel, can anyway? Hey, I saw a couple of ones in the chat box, so that's good.
All right, Con. Like if y'all can hear us while we're talking, go ahead and
Yeah,
put a one in the comment board.
yeah,
All right, brother Dan, go ahead.
yeah, Israel. So man, this is why me and brother Eitan go hard in the paint. This 7-year war that we're doing, we're serious about that. And it may turn into a 12-year war, even more. But we are at war with our own people. Israel. And what did Hamashiach say? He says, "I come not." I'll show you that one too. Before I turn it over to brother Eitan.
Con.
But I think it's Matthew 10. It just came to my mind.
That's right.
Man,
I love the Shabbat, man. Every Shabbat, I just can't wait for the Shabbat to happen. I know I can rest, right? I don't have anybody harassing me about work or anything like that. I just get to sit right here and get my mind right.
That's right.
Right, and just concentrate and focus on the holy things, on the spiritual things, so I can get my batteries recharged to go into the next week.
That's right. So Israel, this is going to lead up to the lesson that we're doing, and why me and brother Eitan go hard in the paint. It says Matthew 10:34. It says, "Think not that I am come to send peace on the earth. I am come not to send peace, but a sword." He ain't coming here to pet you and stroke you down. Listen, sisters, he ain't coming here for you can sit on his lap and rub your hands through his fro. And that's not what Hamashiach is here for. All right.
Man.
Verse 35, it says, "For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foe shall be they of his own household." All right. He's talking about us, Israel. Our enemies, our enemies, our own people. And this is what we warn against. And this is why we're going to keep going hard in the paint against these harlots, these Jezebels, these Pookies and Ray Rays, and these effeminate men.
Con.
We're going to keep going hard. We got a couple of videos we're going to show you. But until then, I'll turn it over to brother Eitan.
Oh, okay, Con. All right. Let me see. You know what? Let's start in Genesis. Let's start at Genesis 16. I wanted to go over Hagar, right? Because there are not really too many stories in the scriptures dealing with single motherhood, right? We don't have too many examples to go by. And I know that Hagar was not an Israelite, but however, the Most High was with her. And that's the only reason that I'm using her for an example, right? Mm-hmm. Let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. Boom, man. Boom. All right. Oops. Let me pull out these scriptures. Hold up, Israel. Let's go to Genesis 16. Voila. All right. Now, this is an example, right, for a situation that, because a lot of us, right, especially in today's world, right, that we're going through things, right? A lot of the sisters, a lot of the brothers, you might have laid down with a sister or brother and it might not have worked out, and the family might have broken apart, and you might have been a single mother, and then the father is just out there, and then he doesn't have his son with him, right? We have a lot of that in our community. Let's just be honest, right? There's a lot of that. No, Hagar is not an Israelite. She is a Egyptian, right? As it says in verse 3 right here, right? Which is as it says in verse 3. Okay, so we're going to start at verse 16, right? And then we're going to read some things about Hagar and her situation, right? And I want the single mothers out there that are listening, right? And also the fathers that are having to deal with situations like this, for them really to pay attention into this kind of situation and how to act and how to proceed.
Okay.
Verse 16, right? Genesis chapter 16, it says, "Now Sarai," now this is before she got her name changed, right? Before she became Sarah, when she became pregnant through the Most High's blessing, right? It says, "Now Sarai, Abraham's wife, bare him no children. She had a handmaid, an Egyptian," right? She was an Egyptian, right? So she wasn't an Israelite, she was Egyptian, and this was before the time of Jacob. This was before the time of Jacob, right? Before the 12 tribes of Israel, where at this particular time, God was the God of Abraham, right? So he says that the handmaid was an Egyptian whose name was Hagar. And Sarai said to Abram, right, because Abram didn't get his name changed to Abraham until he had his son Isaac, right, until his son Isaac became pregnant, right. I mean, before old girl became pregnant, and the Most High had gave him the covenant, right. So it says, and Sarai said unto Abram, behold, now the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go into my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abraham hearkened to the voice of Sarai. Now, this is very important to notice in verse 3, right? You know, because a lot of people say that sex isn't marriage, but this will show you that if you have sex with that woman, or sisters, if you have sex with the brother, right? If you lay down with that brother's your husband.
Yep.
Right. That's just what it is. Right. It's you don't have to have any ceremonies or anything of that nature. Right. It's literally talking about, you know, if you lay down with a person, right, you don't not supposed to have. I mean, it doesn't matter about ceremonies and whatever, you're going to be husband and wife. Verse 3, and Sarai, Abram's wife took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, and after Abram had dwelt in 10 years in Canaan, he gave her to the husband Abram to be his wife, right? So Hagar, right? So Sarai gave Hagar to Abram to be the wife, right? And when he went in unto Hagar, right, which constituted the marriage, and she conceived, and when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes, right? So she was jealous over the fact that she conceived. Mm-hmm. And Sarai said unto Abram, my wrong be upon thee. I have given my maid into thy bosom. And when she saw that she had conceived, she was despised in her eyes. The Lord judged between me and thee. I like that right there, right? The Lord judges between me and thee, because these days, you know, we try to judge between ourselves and we don't let the Most High do his work because we think that we're greater than the Most High, it seems to be. Right? It says, but Abram said unto Sarai, behold, thy maid is in thy hand. Do to her as is pleaseth thee. And when Sarai dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. Right. So I guess she was being abusive or whatever, you know, talking down to her or whatever the case may be. Right. And the angel of the Lord found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way by Shur. Right. So also, right, we guys got to realize that even though that the bondmaid, right, was married unto Abram at this particular time because they laid down together, right? Abram was like, well, you know what? I understand that you feel some type of way. You know, that's your servant or whatever too. So you just go ahead and, you know, you do with her as you will, right? That's kind of messed up on the low, right? You know, but you know, he was trying to please his first wife, which was not a bondmaid, right? Which was Sarai. So upon doing this, right, you know, Sarah, you know, she was mad, you know what I'm saying? So I guess she dealt hardly with old girl, you know, treated her how she wanted to do, probably was making her scrub the floors and doing all kind of extra stuff, you know, that she normally wouldn't made her do.
You know what's so crazy, man, about this?
Ahead.
You know what's crazy is that Sarah wanted her to go into the his handmaid. She was right. She was the one who inquired about it.
Because she couldn't have children, right? Which just shows the women of these days. The whole way that they were living was totally different to the way that the white man has taught our people today, right? It's totally different, right? And Abraham said unto Sarah, behold, thy maid is in thy hand, do to her as thou pleaseth. And when Sarai dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. And the angel of the Lord found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way of Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarai's maid, whence thou comest? And whither wilt thou go? And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress Sarai. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, return to thy mistress and submit thyself unto her hands. Right. So even though her situation wasn't good, it wasn't the best, right? Even though it wasn't good, it wasn't the best. The Most High had sent the angel and told her to go back to the house. Right. We have to apply that same situation in a lot of our relationships. Our relationships, sometimes it might not be the best, right? You might not be getting along. The husband may be dealing harshly with you, right? You think it's always going to be that way? You know, like our people, we seem to get in relationships nowadays and we already have a out planned. You know, it's a ticking time bomb, right? We don't ever plan for it to last forever, because there's a reason why it's called the golden years. The golden years are when things are golden, because you've already been through all the hardships in the beginning, right? It's not easy to live together with another person. It's not going to ever be easy to live together with another person.
Hey, brother, you brought up something very interesting, man. You were saying earlier that things were a lot different. The way marriage was, the way relationships were, and when you look at throughout the Torah, women that you didn't get married. A woman didn't get married because you wanted to have. You were given in marriage to support her man, whether she was happy or not. But the whole point I'm making is that back then, the way marriage was is that it was for the man. It was for the man to be able to provide kids. Now, I'm sure there was a lot of extras in there between that. I'm sure there was some good love and everything between that. Someone makes that very clear. But my point is comparing the past, the way marriage was to now, things are so, you got to understand the reason why it's so hard now for our people is because things are so out of order. Everything that's been made, everything that was good has been made bad, and vice versa. All right. So now you have so many, this is why you have so many single mothers thinking that they can just go out and get with any Tom, Dick, and Harry and think that they're going to be fine. All right. But nothing can be further from the truth. So, you got to understand the times we're living in and the fact that, things were not the same because women were submissive back then. I mean, when a woman knew that she was going to, whatever man she was going to be assigned to, she was going to be faithful, whether she liked that brother or not. She was going to be faithful and love that brother and serve that man. All right. So that's something you gotta realize too. All right.
And also, right, I wanted to show, because now it's it's a whole different situation than when it was before. Yeah. Right. Sarah, she felt so bad about not being able to give her husband a child that she was willing to give her handmaid to him. Right. Mm-hmm. Now we got to think about that. That shows you how important it is, right, to have a child, right, or even how important it is for a woman to have a child, right, and who you choose to have a child with. That's going to make a serious impact on that particular family, right? You can't just be going out here laying with every Tom, Dick, and Harry. It's just not going to go down like that. The guy that tickles your fancy or whatever the case may be. If you look at Abram, right, Abraham was a man of means, right? So much so that the Most High even dealt with him, right, and became his God. Right. These are the type of men that these women or children that are in the scriptures. Right. When you hear about these women that are mentioned in the scriptures, they're either mentioned for extreme righteousness or extreme wickedness. Right. Like Jezebel, for example. Right. Or King Herod's wife. Right. Which was a baby mama that left her husband, brought the daughter over and she was so hell bent on disobeying the Most High that she ended up, killing John the Baptist, right? Now, if you're a brother that's laying down with a single mother, that's not your old lady, right? And that she's had a child by the next man, right? You're going to be in the same mind frame of the man that killed Hamashiach. You see what I'm saying? That's right? Great. Because John the Baptist had warned him about going after his brother's wife, Simon. Now, man, you're not supposed to be marrying your brother's wife. That is against the commandments. Not only did he marry his brother's wife, but his wife already had a child with his brother. How wicked is that? King Herod, the same mind frame that man was in, is going to be in the same mind frame. It's going to be for brothers that are out here want to marry these single mothers, because that man did what? Man, he killed Hamashiach. Right? So let's continue. Right, and it says, and the angel of the Lord said to her, return to thy mistress, and submit thyself under her hands. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction. Notice that also, right? For her to return to the house, right, to continue to get mistreated, the Lord told her that she had a child. She's smart enough to go back to the house, right? She was smart enough to go back to the house that she was with the man, even though she was being mistreated by the wife, right? By the main wife number one, right? You know, a child in the father's life is very important, right? And especially if you're up there, and then, you know, if you're a strong man, right? We're not dealing with any pookies and ray-rays and brothers that can't, you know, raise up their children, right? You women, you have to be very careful out here. As we see in verse 3, sexist marriage.
Especially now these days.
Right? So you don't want to be like that girl that the Most High's son ran up on at the well, and the Most High told her she had about five husbands. You know what I mean? Meaning that she had 5 bodies, right?
Was it 7 or 5?
Oh, I don't know. It might have been 7. I don't know. I'm not sure actually. You know, but I know it was more than one, right? It says, and the angel of the Lord said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction. And he will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence, of all his brethren. And she called the name of the Lord that spake unto her, Thou God seest me. For she said, I have also here looked after him that seeth me. Wherefore the well was called Ber La Eraio, I guess. Sorry, Slaki on that pronunciation, Israel. It is between Kadesh and Bered, and Hagar bare Abram a son. And Abraham called him son, which Hagar bare Ishmael, right? And Abraham was 86 years old when Hagar, you heard that? And Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bare Ishmael to Abram, right? So
that's like what, 86 years old.
He was 86.
Because for a score is 20 in years. So if anybody didn't know that.
Right. So I'm gonna skip to the next chapter, over 17, and because I want to show you how long she stayed with them before things start to get kind of crazy, right? I want to find out when she got circumcised. All right, boom. And Ishmael, his son, was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin, right? The reason why I wanted to bring this up, because I wanted to show you that he stayed with her for 13 years so far, right? So Hagar has stayed with her husband and the wife for 13 years. Now, upon this time, this is when the covenant was given, and Isaac was Salakia, and Abraham, he was circumcised in his whole household, because the Most High had commanded him to, of all the males, even himself, right? And he was, hold up, and Abraham, and see, in the safe stone day was Abraham circumcised, and Ishmael his son. Abraham was 99 years old when he was circumcised. Damn, well, I know that had to hurt. Good gracious, 99. Yeesh. All right. Imagine being 99 years old and you got a 13-year-old son. Can you imagine that, man? That's just wild right there.
You know, back in them days, he was close to the creation too, man. So I mean, just imagine the vital forces they had.
Con.
You know, they're still pumping out babies, man. What was it? Noah was like 400. Lamech was like almost 500, something like that.
Con. Yeah, that's just
7 babies.
Man, them days was wild, right? And it says, and the Lord visited Sarah, right? Because by this time their names had been changed after the covenant was given, right? And the Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did unto Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age, at the same time of which God had spoken to him, right? And we know that, and Abraham called the name of his son that was born to him, whom Sarah had bare to him, Isaac, right? So his name was Isaac, right? So I wanted to read a little bit longer, right? So it says, and the child grew and was weaned, right? We're talking about Isaac here. And Abraham made a great feast the same day that Isaac was weaned. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, which she had born unto Abraham, mocking, right? So I guess Ishmael was mocking, right? He was mocking either Sarah or Isaac or either this just the celebration itself or whatever it was going, right? And Sarah didn't like it. So Sarah was like, wherefore she said unto Abraham, cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, even with Isaac. All right. And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son. And God said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad and because of thy bondwoman, right? And all that Sarah has said unto thee, hearken unto her voice, for in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Now, this is also important, right? Because, I don't want, marriage is also is a team sport, right? It's not someone, even though there is a leader, just like you always have a team leader within the team, that doesn't mean that the team members don't get input on what goes on the team, right? As you see, Sarah's advice was good advice, right? Even so to the fact that the Lord had told Abraham to follow it, right? Yeah, man, you're gonna have to get out that bondwoman's son. Well, your second wife. It's now. This is a sad situation because also, she's going to be a single mother out there with no son. I mean, a single mother out there with no husband, right? Before I go on, right, I want to grab 1 Corinthians 7, right? 1 Corinthians 7 and 10. Right? Because it says, and unto the married I command, not yet I, but the Lord, right? This is what the Lord, because I want you guys to understand that the Lord doesn't change. Let not the wife depart from her husband, and if she depart, let her remain unmarried or be reconciled to her husband, and let not the husband put away his wife. Now, this is a situation that we see that the husband had to put away the wife, right? Now, does that, because we know that Hagar was dealing with the Most High, what do y'all think happened? Do you think that she decided to choose another husband? Did you think that, do you think that she decided to choose another husband? Slakia, let me go back to 21. We'll read and see, right? We'll read and see. Now, this is this is single motherhood right here, right? One of the single mothers, besides, I know there's like another instance, but we're talking about widowhood.
Mm-hmm.
Dealing with what was that? Ezra? No. Ezra's daughters? I can't remember. Okay, I'll remember in a minute. All right. Verse 12, and God said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad and because of thy bondwoman. And all that Sarah has said unto thee, hearken not unto her voice. Hearken unto her voice, for in Isaac shall thy seed be called. And also the son of the bondwoman, I'll make a nation, because he is thy seed. Right? I personally believe that this is something that the Most High had wanted Abraham to know in order to placate his feelings, right? Because after all, that is his son, and if he was with him for 13 years and then some, he built a bond with that boy, right? He had to build a bond with him, right? But even though, right, when he had decided to to kick her out or to what does it say? You have to put her away, right? It says, and Abraham rose up early in the morning and took bread and a bottle of water and gave it unto Hagar, putting it on her shoulder and the child, and sent her away. And she departed and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. Well, that's bad because, he didn't really give her nothing, right? It was like, hey, man, take this bread and water and then get ye thence. that's horrible, right? But let's just think about it, right? Even in today's society, right, we have a single mother situations. Sometimes, right, y'all really can't get nothing from y'all baby daddy. It might just be a bottle of water and some bread because he really can't afford nothing because of the situations. Y'all might have chosen to lie down with a bum, or just that brother, he just might not just be up on game right now. He's struggling and he's going through trials and tribulations, right? Either or, we don't know, right? But at the same time, we know that a lot of you single mothers are out here hardly with nothing, right? But
and that's the thing, Israel. when we talk about marriage and widowhood, all right, widowhood, unless the husband, is died or some kind of way, that woman, she can remarry after that if the husband had died and she's free from the law. But I wanted to kind of iterate what you were talking about earlier in First Corinthians. I believe it was 7, chapter 7, was it?
Mm-hmm.
When it says that if now this is referring to married women, all right. So I also want to make sure you get that clear because in today's society, when we talk about single motherhood, majority, probably fair to say that over 90% of these mothers have not been married. They just had kids, all right, but they've never been married. So you can't consider yourself a widow, even if the brother dies. Well, technically, because you technically married to that one person, but the point is, if you're being abused and you with some bum, you can leave. If you're in a marriage, you can leave. You just can't, but you still can't go out there and find another man and everything. And that's the big difference when you're looking at versus society of today with single motherhood and single motherhood of old. When Hagar, she went out and everything. And I'm pretty sure that Abraham said he was going to make him a nation. So she just had to deal with that. All right. She got a child now that's going to become a nation, and he's had many offsprings and so forth. And that's pretty much the end of that. But like Brother Etan said, the Most High does not change. So it still applies today as it did back then. It's just for us in our society, these sisters, especially these single sisters that are out there that are young and ignorant. The point that I was going to bring up is that you have a woman's going to sleep with a man regardless. They want to sleep with a man, a woman is going to sleep with a man. All right. So a woman's going to always have a sleep mate, but as far as a soulmate, that's a whole different thing. And this is something that's lacking. Marriage is lacking big time in our in Israel. Let's just face it. What is the marriage rate now? I think it's less than 20%. I looked it up as in 23. It's less than marriage percent. Whereas back in the 50s, marriage we had a 97% marriage rate. That's high compared to now. Right? So Israel, and this is why it's so important to really bring this kind of stuff out, because we want to see everything get back. Come on, we need our sisters need us, and we want to see this stuff. We want to see us come back to righteousness, all right? Because it's getting bad. Just imagine what the single motherhood is going to be like 10 years from now, with everything going on and everything. It's ridiculous because people don't want to first of all submit to the Most High, keep His commandments, and be righteous. But hey, this is what we're going to have to deal with.
Okay. Now, this next part is really important because, like Brother Daniel was bringing out, I want you all to understand, and just like why I went to 1 Corinthians chapter 7 was to show you that the Most High doesn't change. He said that, if the wife, right, if she departs, or if the husband happened to put away his wife, right, let her not remarry or be reconciled to her husband. Now, the Most High doesn't change. The laws don't change. Right, no matter what era we're in, right, it's still the same thing. We got to obey. Right now, only reason I'm bringing this out about Hagar, like I said, is because she was under the watchful eye of the Most High. Mm-hmm. Now, what I want you to understand is that Hagar did not go looking for another man to save her, right? Even though she had a child, right? She didn't go look for a stepfather or another a man to come in to help take care of her and her child. What she did was she turned to the Most High. Let's continue reading. It says, and Abraham, as we said that Abraham only sent her away with with bread and water, right? And we're going to start at 15. And the water was spent in the bottle, and she cast the child under the shrubs, right? Because they were in the wilderness of Beersheba, right? They was wandering there. And she went and sat down over against him a good way off, as it were a bow shot. For she said, let me not see the death of the child. And she sat over against him and lifted up her voice who? To the Most High, and wept. And God heard the voice of the lad, and the angel of God called to Hagar, right, out of the heaven, and said unto her, what aileth thee, Hagar? Right? Fear not, for God hath heard the voice of the lad where he is. Arise, lift up the lad, and hold him in thine hand, for I will make him a great nation. And God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water, and she went and filled the bottle with water and gave the lad drink. And God was with the lad, and he grew and dwelt in the wilderness and became an archer. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took him a wife out of the land of Egypt, right? Meaning that his mother chose him a wife, right? She didn't let him choose for himself any, you know what I'm saying? Because this is why it's important. Why the scriptures also say what? To honor thy father and thy mother, that their days may be long upon the land, right? It was the parents that were out here that were marrying these sons and daughters, and were picking, you know, the wives, you know what I'm saying, and the you know, the wives and the husbands, right? You know, you weren't allowed just to go out here and just marry any Tom, Dick, and Harry you wanted to. Man, the parents had to vet these folks, right? You had to make sure they come from good stock, like the scriptures say, right? You don't want to be descended from thieves, robbers, liars, stealers, and things of that nature. That's why it's important for us to make sure that, you know, who you decide to marry or who you decide to lay down with, right? They have good scruples, right? They have families of good scruples. Because who knows, man? You could be dating someone from King Herod's line, right? And then you got wickedness all over through there, because the scriptures always say that what, right? We were born, right? We were born in you know, saying we're born in iniquity. We're born in iniquity, which means that the only reason that we're under the same curses and the situation that we are in now, the only reason that we're with that is because the sins follow down the bloodline, right? Because we are who our father is. So forth and so on, all the way up the line. That's why the Most High, he mass punishes, is because that same blood follows along. It's the same person, damn near, except for, you know, just like the scriptures say about when you die and you raise up a son of righteousness, he's supposed to be one that is just like you, as if you were never left.
And this is why and this is why sisters, especially single sisters and brothers as well, you know, you have to choose wisely. All right. In this day and age, and just like what Paul was saying, you know, sometimes it's better to remain single, because there's just so much wickedness in this world. All right, well, sisters, and for those of you righteous sisters who are single but you have not found anyone, you really need to pray, and you really, first of all, you need to really focus on keeping the commandments. All right, don't worry about what's out there. What's up, you know, worry about keeping the commandments.
And the Lord will bless you.
Pray hard, and Most High will bless you with the right one, because you want to choose a brother that's righteous, who keep the commandments, who is not, you know, had a violent past. You know, like brother was saying, you know, sometimes you got to do your research. You know, look up some of that family tree, you know, line down and everything. Same way with the brothers. All right, when you choose these loose women out here, these younger women. What you expect, you know, you got to understand. She may not look like what you wanted to look like, but you know, if she's righteous and she's keeping the commandments, you know, and sometimes, you know, that's what the Lord. I mean, that's what the Most High is going to bless you with.
Yeah, and then also on top of that, the Most High says also, right, when we read in Corinthians, it doesn't say, well, and in Titus, it says that outside, you know, broidered with necklace, you know, so with necklaces and gold, and you think that your outer features, man, the Most High, he's not dealing with that, right? He wants to know what's on the inside.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? He wants to know what's on the inside. The inside is where beauty lies at, right? On the inside is where beauty lies at. Now, we're not saying now, also on the outside can also tell far as, like, if you see a person all jeweled up, all embroiled up, you know, this, that, and the third, and maybe they're not, you know, taking care of themselves the most healthy way, or that person, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. You know, of course, we can see by a person's what does they say, a countenance, right? In the scriptures, it describes them as their countenance, right? Of course, we can look at a person's countenance, and then we can see on the outward appearance what type of we are. But if we see a sister, or you know, you see a brother, he's rocking his fringes, you know, he has a beard on his face, and you know, he's looking regal, and you know, you look at his actions, and he sees that this brother, you know, he's keeping the commandments, right? Hey, that's the type of brother you want to go after, right? If you see these sisters out here and they're covered up, right, and they want you to notice their mind and how they move, within the world, as far as following the laws, statutes, and commandments, that's the sisters you need to go after, right? You don't need to go after those sisters that are scantily clad out here that barely have anything on or anything like that. You won't make it. Notice right here in the scriptures, right, that far as I know, it's already too late for I wouldn't say too late, but I know that we've already as a community, we've gotten to a lot of bad situations that are hard for us to remedy at this particular time, right? But as we see that Hagar in the scriptures, right, that she was damn near on her deathbed, right? They were starving, all the water and all the bread were gone, right? She didn't go and try to find a man, or she didn't go on OnlyFans, or she didn't, or do anything of that nature, right? What did she do? She prayed to the Most High. And the Most High heard the voice of her son crying from starvation. And then he did what? He came down and he kept his promise and delivered that woman and her son. That's the thing that we as a community need to do. Don't look for another man if you're out there and you're a single sister, right? It says, if anything, you reconcile with your husband, which is the man that you made that child with, right? Mm-hmm. But if you can't do that, then you're supposed to do what? Sit back and keep the commandments, right? To the best of your ability.
And this is what the enemy wants. They want it. Their purpose that they have, for the most part, they have destroyed, the Israelite love that we had back in the 50s. They completely destroyed it. Now, granted, you still have your nuclear families that are still hanging in there, but man, the numbers have dwindled like crazy. And now what you see is, matter of fact, brother, I want to show this little diagram. Man,
you good?
Kind of show Israel where this is where we at. This is where we at. Dang, man, okay, it is right here. All right, so you look at this now. Now this is in reference to the lesson. All right, so you see single women, you see singleness on the rise, but what you're really seeing on the rise is single motherhood with kids by different daddies. All right, you're starting to see that. You go throughout any hood throughout the U.S. This is what you're going to see majority of. All right, we got too many of our sisters out there in this situation that should not have been in this situation. But what can we do about it now? You know what I'm saying? What's done is what's done. The heathens did their thing on us. So now you're gonna have to teach a younger generation, because there's hope in them, the younger generation. All right, I'm talking about the ones that are going to be replacing you coming up. You're going to have to teach these young girls, according to Titus 2:3. And I wish I saw more women, elderly women, teaching Titus 2:3. But you don't see that. It's a shame. I still yet to see one Israelite woman that is really teaching according to, because there is a pastorship for women. All right, we're not, me and Brother Eitan are not saying that women have no right to any kind of pastorship. They do, but it's in accordance to Titus 2:3. That is your only pastorship that you have. You're supposed to teach the young women how to be wives, good wives, how to take care of the home, how to cook. All right, because the majority of these younger generation of women, they don't know how to cook. Because you know why? Because their mothers repeated that cycle. Mm-hmm. They let them be their friends, so they never taught them how to cook. They always taught them that, hey, you need to just do what you let the man take care of you, whatever. Let the man pay the bills and all that kind of simple stuff.
Our people need a lot of this stems from patience, mm-hmm. right? The scriptures. The scriptures speak about patience as a virtue, right? In Proverbs. And, like I was saying earlier about the golden years, right, man? How many people have seen, old couples on the street walking, they're holding hands, they're all snuggled up together. They look like they don't have a care in the world, mm-hmm. right? Those are the years that you're supposed to sit back and enjoy yourself, right? Those are the years you're supposed to sit back and you can go out there, you could travel to Italy, or you could go to France and see, some of these heathen nations and whatever the hell they done built up, by the will of the Most High, right? You can just, you know, but the trick is you got to make it there, right? You don't want to be that old by yourself, you know, old and decrepit, and you don't have nobody arm to lean on to while you're, you know, walking through the streets, right?
And until we stop repeating the cycle, Israel, I'm telling you, we're gonna see more seniors that are old and decrepit, talking about they want a younger man and everything, but nobody wants that. Because see, you know, and I hate the fact that a woman has to get in her you know, be in her 70s and 80s before she realized, damn, all this hoeing around, all this holishing wasn't worth it.
God.
You know, this is why, Israel, you got to teach the younger girls. You got to teach the young girls while they're young, while they're in grade school, because the current generation is pretty much a wrap. So you're going to have to pass down this righteous knowledge to these younger kids so they can take it and not go out there, practice their virginity, reserve their virginity to a righteous brother that is going to do right by them. All right, but that's something that's lacking big time. All right, the Most High is going to have a seed that's going to remain. Not all of the seed is going to be destroyed, but then Israel, you got to realize the Most High don't need 44 million Israelites.
Mm.
He don't even really need 8. He can make a nation out of just 2. He's going to do it.
Nation out the one.
Look. He was going to do it with Moses, with Moshe.
What about Abraham?
He said, "I will make a nation out of you, and then just destroy everybody else." I think Moses was serious. Moses had to Moses had to fall on his face. Like, wait a minute now. Let's don't act too quickly, Mashiach. You know. So you know we're bringing this out just to show you that if we can really, it's going to take a while, Israel. So I don't think there's something that's going to happen overnight. But as long as we keep practicing this wickedness, as long as we keep practicing and recycling modern day single motherhood, and you teaching your kids how to twerk, and their kids and kids how to twerk, it's just going to be a never ending story. And speaking of twerking, I don't know if you got anything else to say, but there was a video. Yeah, some of y'all have probably seen it. It was about some so-called sisters, you know, some Israelite sisters that went over to was it Ghana, and they were twerking at the Ghana National Historic Slave Site, and it was a disgrace. You know, it was a total disgrace. And so, you know, you ask yourself, what all this stuff come from? Again, this repetitiveness of this single motherhood that's been ingrained in thinking that you got to just twerk and pop your cheeks all the time and everything in order to show that, you know, show that you're black or whatever. But it was a disgrace. Did you have anything, brother, that you want to do?
No, go ahead, Doc. You know what I mean?
I'm just going to show a clip, and brother, if you need me to stop it, just say, hold there.
God.
Check this out as well. Hold on.
Fan well on your side because everything is lovely.
Hey, did y'all hear that video? You can hear that video. Put it on.
All right, what's good, my kings and queens? I hope all is fair and well on your side because everything is lovely on my side. But there's something that I want to share with you guys. It's a video that I saw of some African American ladies. They came to the slave castle, and I really love that they came to the slave castle. But they was twerking on top of the slave castle, and then they said it was for the ancestors. So check this video out and tell me what you think about it.
All right, I want to say something right quick. You know what's so sad about this? Now, you really think our ancestors were out there shaking their asses and twerking? Hey, they were too busy. They were too busy and too scared of the slave master. Now, our women, y'all gotta understand, man. They don't. What they tell you about slavery is only a third of the story. Our women were being raped. So were the men, but the women were being raped, and even the ones who were allowed to marry, the slaves who were allowed to marry, a slave master could come into your little raggedy little hut and rape your wife right in front of you, and you couldn't do a damn thing about it. Well, you could, but then you would die. You know, so you can think about all the hell that our people were going through just for these wicked sisters and come out here and twerk in front of on a historic site. Every last one of them need to be hung and whipped with 100 lashes. I mean, this is just downright disgrace. Downright disgrace. So stuff like this sets us back, and you wonder why the heathen sitting back laughing at us. But again, this comes from that generational cycle that keeps repeating itself. Now, these young women, I'm pretty sure, not even over the age of 30, probably anywhere. I would say anywhere from 25 to maybe 30 or something like that. You know, and you look at how they're acting now. You know, this is the not all sisters, all right, but collectively, these are the women's that we have to choose from. And
Well, the sad thing about it,
I'm
right?
pretty sure that these women, or at least most of them, have kids.
But the main problem, right? The main problem with this whole situation is that I guarantee you that every single one of these women were raised by single mothers.
Oh, no doubt.
If they have fathers in the home, man, you think fathers ain't allowing their daughters to do this kind of stupidness right here. They would even grow up with this kind of mentality to even think that it was cool to be out here shaking your rump, right, on a national monument. This is crazy right here.
That just tells you the lowlessness of our people's mindset. That you would degrade something like that. You know, this is the equivalent of going into like if the temple was still here, going into the temple and having orgies on the temples, like the Greeks were doing. I mean, this is disgusting beyond belief. I mean, not even a consideration. And I guarantee you, these women have no shame, no shame.
Look at their, like, every one of them got on some skin tight crap, scantily clad. You know, like, this is wicked as hell. Like, and these are, I mean, like, this is the reason why the marriage rates are so low, right? If you're a brother and then you out there and you're actually working hard, right? You're keeping the commandments and you're actually doing the right thing. You're not gonna want to put all your eggs in one of these baskets right here. This is asking for trouble, right? You're asking for heartbreak. You're asking for destruction of your legacy, right? And you're inviting in all kind of unclean spirits, wickedness, and all the above. Just imagine, I mean, like, brothers of any substance, just imagine making a child with one of these sisters. What do you think that'll happen? This is just craziness.
And you know, it's sad, man. I mean, when you look at these women, when I saw women like this when I was growing up, you knew that they were a hooker, because majority of our women did not dress like this. But if you saw a woman dressed like this, man, back in the days, okay, you knew that woman was a hooker. She was out in the street, or some pimp was nearby or something. But this is normal now, y'all. This is normal. This is what a lot of these women wear. I told y'all I was on my way somewhere and I saw a high school get out and I saw a group of teenage girls dressed just like this. Now, you tell me that it's not going to take very long at all for a man to completely undress you in his mind. Because, I mean, you're already pretty much naked at this point. I mean, just think about it, Israel. They don't have no clothes on. They don't have any clothes. They're not covered. They're not covered. They just got enough on them to have something on. They might as well just be naked and have a bathrobe on. No difference.
That was crazy, right? I mean, when I saw that video, I was like, oh my God, I know they're not doing this to us. Because see, the only thing about it is a lot of people here, they put everyone in the same boat. So by them seeing these free African Americans doing this, they assume that we are all doing that, you know, and that's not good on the tension that some people already have, you know, between Africans and African Americans. But don't get me wrong, twerking was already in Africa. Watch this video. The bad thing about that is due to social media,
Yep.
it has influenced a lot of people here in Africa already. Let them get the influence from that. But I think it's quite disrespectful for someone to come from America, bringing certain Western ways here to Africa. when, like I say, it was already here. But don't you be the one to come put more influence on the youth, because we all know that the youth is like sponges, and they soak up everything that they see on TikTok, Facebook, and all other social media outlets.
Stuff like that. See, this is why I fear for a lot of the young people, because the social media world, man, it's so heavy. Like everywhere I go, man, I see, like, anytime I see even grown-ups and everything, but I'm just seeing people on there stuck, just glued to their phones like this, and their head is always down, looking at the screen, never, non-stop. And that stuff is addicting, you know. And a lot of our people, like the brother said, are getting that influence from social media. Man, so it's wild. It is wild, Israel.
It's funny that you always got the brothers that's bringing out this stuff that are talking about, you know, the sisters shouldn't do that. You might have one or two sisters that are actually preaching against this stuff, but man, most of the time it's the brothers just trying to rein everybody back in. And it's like I don't know what's going on, man. It's like I don't know. I just get frustrated sometimes with this stuff because it's like, man, why are they not listening? I mean, clearly you can see this is wickedness.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to share something. I'm going to share another video. This is a video of a now, granted, this brother's fault, because if you choose a lazy woman and vice versa, you know, this is what you're going to get. All right. This woman was sitting around in the house. I guess they're planning on getting married. And the brother was like, man, you don't cook. You don't do nothing. Why should I even marry you? You know, let me get that out right quick.
Fuck. Sitting here drinking Chick. I've been starving all day. And y'all got this lazy fuck sitting here drinking Chick-fil-A shit. Get up and cook something. What are you doing?
I'm not cooking nothing for you. Why
Go cook something. See, this is why I'm not marrying you.
Oh.
You sitting down all day. Go cook something.
Oh my.
Do something.
Wow.
That's exactly why I'm not marrying you.
What?
You got the lights off. Turn the lights on.
How do you mad? Because I want to relax.
Look at this.
Why
Do you
am I
work?
cooking for you? Who do you think I am?
Do you work?
No, man. Still cook your man some food.
She act like she
I'm not
working.
marrying you. Hope you know that.
Now I know this is a video, and I know that this situation, but I've talked to you know how many people that I've talked to that are going through this. Many brothers I've talked to because they made bad decisions, because they married a lazy woman that don't want to cook because she looked good. Oh, she was banging though. Body was banging. She looked good and everything. Come to find out, she can't cook. She can't do nothing. She don't want to clean. She want to stay on Facebook all the time. I've done a lot of marriage counseling over that stuff, Israel. It's sickening. What you got, brother John?
Oh, no, I was waiting after you show that the other video, and then I wanted to bring out a couple of scriptures.
So Israel. So the other video is a little more sensitive. All right. So this disclaimer. I'll go ahead and tell you what's going on. So you'll probably see it. So apparently there was a brother and a sister who had an altercation at some kind of fast food restaurant or something. Complete two strangers. All right. Don't know how the argument started, but the dude ended up hitting the lady. Apparently she was overweight, because you could see her in the picture afterwards and everything. But you know, I'm gonna let you see the video, and then we're gonna show you what could have been avoided, because technically both were in the wrong. The brother should have even let it got to that point. Should have just walked away. All right. But the brother ended up getting shot by the woman's son, 14-year-old son, because the 14-year-old, the woman of the 14-year-old boy told the 14-year-old boy to get the gun and kill him. All right. So let me bring that up.
During the moment the 14-year-old sees his mother getting punched, investigators say.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Get your food in the car. Who? Get in the car.
Now, I'm not trying to be funny, but I call this the two-hitter quitter.
Get your food in the car. Who? Get in the car. Who? Get your food, man. Get your food. If you say one more thing on.
You know what? You know what pisses me off about this, Israel? You had two brothers. I seen like three or two brothers standing there. They should have automatically intervened. All right, you see your other brother in the altercation. You see that something could get physical. Get between them. Get between that brother and that sister. Hey, look, hey, brother, come on, man. Come on, let's go outside right quick. Let me talk to you for a minute, man. It ain't worth it, man. Look, you can't let these women, because first of all, more than likely, this brother probably was raised by a single woman, a single mom, and I'm not Israel, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that all single moms are bad, because if you know, there are single mothers out there that will hold their children to the fire. All right, all praise for that. But collectively, these kids are they raise themselves pretty much. Dude, you can tell he's emotional. You can tell he's effeminate because just the way he looks and everything, the way he's talking. All right.
Also, right, to add in with that, and then all of a sudden you got one of our people out here with a damn camera on. You know, just like Brother Daniel was saying, they want to record something, they want to watch some folly instead of go stop it.
Exactly. You know, because you could avoid it. You know what? And you're responsible. I'm telling you, Israel, if you're in that situation, and if you stand by and do nothing, you're just as responsible. And that dude's blood is going to be on the brother's hand.
Now I'm gonna say something too that also this woman is the classic sister.
Mm-hmm.
Woman, you can't beat no man. If a man is all up in your face, talking violent,
exactly,
you need to take your ass on somewhere, Salaki, right? You need to take your behind on somewhere and get out of his face. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he's not wrapped too tight. Something wrong with him, right? So instead of trying to be in his face and try to buck up, and you know there's a chance of violence, this sister, her pride is what got this brother killed. Her pride almost lost, you know what I'm saying, almost took her son's life as well. Let's go ahead and play the video. I don't want to interrupt. Hey, let's just finish the video and then we'll talk about it.
Who? Get the job? Get your food. Get your food. If you say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Oh my God, say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out.
Surveillance video capturing the moment the 14-year-old sees his mother getting punched, investigators say, and that's when the teen allegedly pulls a gun from his pocket.
As the victim fled, the co-defendant followed him and fired additional shots. The defendant instructed her son, the co-defendant, to continue to shoot and kill the victim.
First thing, that dude was crazy. Second thing, are we not gonna acknowledge that the court is finna treat this 14-year-old as an adult when his parental figure told him to do it? How you gonna give it? How they gonna charge him when he's a child and he was told to do it? This is just bad parenting. Yeah, but you know, this is America.
And you know, Israel, this frustrates me to no end, because you know it's going to get worse. It was bad enough. It's bad enough that the damn heathens are trying their hardest to cut us off as a people. But you know, Israel, we're not helping with our constant wickedness. We're not. And it's like we're adding to our own affliction. We won't monitor and police our own hoods. You know, we don't want to keep the commandments. We hate obeying any kind of laws. Always want to take shortcuts. Always want stuff for free. Always want to destroy our own stuff, with whatever stuff we got left in the hoods. You know, 4 Walmarts closed down in Chicago because of that. Now they complaining. Well, the Walmarts are closing down. Well, y'all keep stealing stuff. Y'all keep going in and robbing them blind. See, that's our people. Our people, it's like our people want people to excuse them for their wickedness. I hate that stuff. I really do. I hate that stuff. And it's driving me crazy, and it's getting a lot worse. And we're gonna see. I'm telling you, the destruction of our people is not complete yet, Israel. We are still being destroyed, even though the yokes of iron have physically came off, but the yokes of iron are still on us, mentally and spiritually. All right, and our people are still going through the destruction phase. And I'm telling you, when I say that we're a permanent underclass, like we're like the lowest of the lowest permanent underclass, Israel. Everybody got more clout than us. Every race of people on this earth got more clout than us. It's a damn shame. And now you have to go out begging for jobs because you can't. They make it hard for us to start your own businesses. And these moms and pop stores, they just barely scratching the surface, Israel. They're not even really true Black-owned business. I've not seen one Black-owned business that can hire anywhere from 100 to 500 employees, and that's on the low side. Man,
you know what's crazy, right? The scriptures say, "Thou shalt not murder," right? That's what the scriptures say. That's a commandment. What that mother did is told her son to murder that man. That man died from 2 shots in the back. right? It wasn't, the man was trying to flee. It wasn't like she was in any she wasn't in any more danger at all, right? The man was fleeing the situation. She got punched in her mouth because she couldn't shut up. The scriptures speak about, right? Women are not supposed to be like that toward any man. It doesn't matter what it is, right? Albeit the dude should not have punched her in her mouth. She should have been smart enough to determine that situation was going to become violent, and she should have backed away. But now it seems that our women are so manly that they think they can beat a man, and surprised as hell when a man punches them in the mouth, in which that was wicked as hell, right? He should not have hit that woman. But we all could see that man was effeminate and he wasn't wrapped too tightly.
Yeah.
So he hit that woman in the mouth, right? That woman, because of her pride, told her son to commit a sin. This is a grave sin of murder, right? Even though the charges were dropped, right? Even though the charges were dropped, that woman needs to be underneath the jail.
And the sad part is that boy, he's gonna have that on his conscience for the rest of his life.
God.
Only 14.
All right. Now the mother wants to sue the police.
Why did I listen to my mother and hurt my own brother?
It says now the mother wants to sue the police. Man, they need to lock that woman up. I pray, man, for her to try to pursue that situation. I hope her ass goes to jail, because that's just wicked as hell, right? You tell your son now. You're already a single mother, right? And we know that you're a single mother because we know that you are stupid enough to stand up to a man that's telling you if you keep on running your mouth, you're gonna get punched in the mouth, like she didn't believe it. That's why she's not with the man that she made the baby with in the first place. That shot the man, because she's a masculine ass woman that don't know how to submit. That's the problem. Nobody wants to marry women like that. Nobody wants to stay with women like that. And we have that continuous situation in our community. I don't know what's wrong with the women. Maybe because they think that they weigh more than the average Israelite man, right? That now they think they can just run up in any man's face and they can just think they're supposed to bully men, or whatever these little Marvel movies that you see these damn white women flying around whooping grown ass men. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know what the situation is. So far it seems like that the world has gone crazy. They was over here trying to convince Serena Williams, right, that she could beat up the men tennis player. Serena Williams, she has enough sense, because she actually plays the sport, to tell them dummies, no, the guy that was ranked 200th, beat the crap out of me, and I only scored one time. Right? It is not the same thing. I don't know why all of a sudden, our women are listening to this damn foolishness and starting to believe it. No, you're not no damn superhero. You're not Wonder Woman, right? You're not Captain Marvel or any of these other women that think they can just throw men around.
Yeah, and the fact that the boy had a gun. Where did the boy get the gun at? A 14-year-old kid is not. No,
the woman told him to go get it.
That's what I'm saying. So somebody who's saying that, whatever, if the boy had a gun, and when she told him to shoot him, he did exactly that. I mean, this is crazy, y'all. You know why the charges were dropped? Because the heathens don't care about this kind of stuff. This is what you call black on black crime. They want us to out each other out. Why do you think they allow this stuff to carry on in the hoods? Because they want the hoods to exist. They need the hoods to exist so it can continue to support white supremacy. Because we need these niggas to kill each other's off constantly, so that way our work is cut out for us. We don't have to go kill them. Just let them kill themselves.
I want you to go back right into the video that we just played. She just told the son to go get the gun, in case you didn't hear that, right? After the altercation was down, it just continued to say the dude that was saying that the video, that after he was running away, the woman told him to go ahead and shoot him again. All right, so I need you to pay attention. I don't care about no lawsuit. A woman can make up for whatever she did, and then never mind, right? Because it's just obvious that one thing was obvious. That woman did not give two craps about her son. If she really cared about her son, she would not have told her son to go get the gun and shoot that dude. All right, go get the gun. And that's when the dude was talking about, girl, you better say it again. You better mind your mouth.
Crazy, y'all. So, we're gonna see much worse stuff than this, though. And as we go, as the years, the months go past Israel, because I'm telling you, they are out to bury Israel any way they can. Bad enough they pushing all this LBGQ stuff on our people.
Desire not a multitude of unprofitable children, neither delight in ungodly sons. Though they didn't, thank you, though they multiply, rejoice not in them, except the fear of the Lord be with them.
Hey, hold on for a minute. Hey, if we're gonna have any demon wicked women's coming on here, you're gonna get blocked. Just saying, all right? We got proof and everything, but you want to come on here acting a fool, acting a donkey, some of you wicked women that want to come on here and act a donkey, you gonna get blocked. All right.
Man, you wanna, man, if you want to, man, we could play that video back. You know what I'm saying? They're showing right when the part where she said, "Get the gun."
Oh, she can rewind. She can rewind the video. She just been, you know, we just got some people being wicked.
I mean, like, we literally just showed the part where it said that she said, "Get the gun." I don't understand what they're talking about.
No, we just, you know, you just got demons. Sometimes you just gotta block the demons. That's all. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, God, Salakia. There ain't no way that woman got a husband. I don't know why the women are trying to justify this stuff, man. Get your ass off this. Get off my live. Go on, right? I don't want to deal with that. Right? It says, "Trust not thou in their life, neither respect their multitude. For one that is just is better than 1,000, and better is not to die, and better it is to die without children than to have them that are ungodly." Right? It is said, "It's better, and better it is to die without children than to have them that are ungodly." Right? So y'all gotta understand out here, you know what I'm saying, you brothers and sisters that are out here, right? You over here fornicating with these wicked ass women, you know what I'm saying, fornicating with these wicked men, right? It is literally better to die without children than to have them that are ungodly, right? Because that's going to come back onto you, right? Because it's your job as parents to raise up the children in the laws, statutes, and commandments. Because if they out here being wicked as hell, right, being unruly, in vain, up in the community, as we see up to date, what's going to happen? That is going to fall back on you, because it's your responsibility that when you have children to raise them right. That's why it says in a 2 Peter, right, for the women, you're going to be judged in childbirth, right, for you to be saved. That's what the scriptures say. So you out here being wicked, raising up these daughters to twerk, and you bringing in all these damn men, so forth and so on, and you showing that this is what you do when you're a single mother, just to be out here being wicked as hell, right, without raising your son or your daughter right. If you're out here by yourself as a single mother and you're doing that, you ain't getting the kingdom. We're not the same, right? We're not the same. It's not the same for the men and the women. You're out there being wicked, you're going to get judged. I don't know why you think that you're just going to be able to, throw away responsibilities to the wayside, and you think that you're not going to get judged for it. I don't understand how you think that is, right? What do you think when the Most High, he looks down, he sees that you're being wicked as hell, and then you holding your son and your daughter from the husband, or because that is your husband. He's not the baby daddy, because the scriptures say when you lay down with a man, period, right, y'all are married. So if you're holding the son or the daughter back from seeing the husband, right, what do you think the Most High is going to look at that as? It's going to be you, the one that's going to be in the trouble. It's not going to be the father. This is why that we see nationwide and across the world that if you're raised in a single father home, right, you have just as equally an opportunity as you would be with a two-parent home. Why is that? See, this is why the government and all these institutions, they try to push single motherhood. It's because they want y'all to fail, because it is already written in the cards for y'all to fail, right? And to raise up nigglets and to continue in the wickedness and to bring down our people. That's what the situation is. I don't understand why we can't get this understood, man. Y'all done had the children since the 50s. Look at the hell, what's going on? They will say, oh, why y'all always get on the women? Because it's the damn women's fault. Y'all the ones that choose to open up your legs to Pookie and Ray Ray, right? Notice Hagar, right? She didn't have sex at all until she had sex with Abraham. None of these other women that you read about in the scriptures that are deemed righteous be out here doing the same wicked ass stuff that y'all be out here doing. Brothers included. I don't understand why people just don't get it. You can just continually be wicked as hell, and you think nothing's going to happen to you. Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
this
you
is
know I
and
can
this
have
is
do what I want.
and this is why your children are terrorizing you everywhere, all across the U.S. I'm gonna prove it to you. Watch, look at this. Isaiah 3:12 says, "For as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead you cause you to err, and destroy the way of your path." Man, these kids out here terrorizing. That's why you got so many. That's why you got so many game bangers out there. These are young kids. These are kids of harlots, because the single mothers cannot control these kids. They're out of control, Israel. And I'm pretty sure some of y'all have had households where it was like that. These kids, they coming up dead. I mean,
you know what's funny about this statement right here? Right? She actually married. I don't believe that, and never told her son to get the gun or even instruct him. So what's she doing? Selling out her son for protecting her? Is that what's going on? So now you're saying she's a deadbeat mother? What are y'all saying? You see what I'm saying? I mean, like, you can't win either way, right? I don't believe. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that. You saw how that woman was. She had pride, right? It was her pride, right? Is the thing that got that man killed. I don't give a damn. You could easily look at that woman and tell that she was a rebellious woman. Yo, man, get your ass out that man's face if you see he about to hit you. What's wrong with you?
They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that because a lot of these women want to bathe in their masculinity. That's what's going to get them killed.
The man hit her one time. She still didn't shut the hell up. No. He hit her again. That's craziness to me. That's craziness to me how women think that. I don't understand.
You know,
it wasn't like it wasn't even like he was going full speed. You know what I'm saying? Like, like full hell on, like he would if he had to fight a guy, right? You know what I'm saying? It wasn't. I don't understand. Where is the where is the damn common sense? Where's the sense at all, for that matter? Verse 4. For by one hath understanding shall the city be replenished, but the kindred of the wicked shall speedily become desolate. Let's look at our people. Our people are becoming desolate. Many things have I seen with mine eyes, and mine ear hath heard greater things than these. In the congregation of the ungodly, shall a fire be kindled, and in a rebellious nation wrath is set on fire. He was not pacified toward the giants who fell away in the strength of their foolishness, right? If y'all understand that not even the giants were able to be successful in their wickedness against the Most High killed their ass. How much more you, right? That don't want to do right, that don't want to get with the laws, statutes, and commandments. You think that you can be out here and doing whatever the hell you want to do. Neither spared he the place where Lot sojourned, right? Sodom and Gomorrah, out there doing what? Sexual immorality, lasciviousness, wickedness on all levels, but abhorred them for their pride. And he pitied not the people of perdition who were taken away in their sins, nor the 600,000 footmen who were gathered together in the hardness of their hearts. And if there be one stiff-necked among the people, it is a marvel. You heard that? It said it is a marvel if he escaped unpunished. For mercy and wrath are with him. He is mighty to forgive and to pour out displeasure. Right now, for the Most High to have to judge that dude and to get him shot and killed, right? Because you best believe that was a judgment for the Most High. Everything that on the earth that happens, it happens at the behest of the Most High. It's already planned. It was there before, before we were even thought about, right? By our mothers or fathers. It was there before time or mortal was created, right? That means that what? The Most High already had chosen to judge that dude.
Yep.
Right? If you read, you have to be careful with your emotions, right? This is why it's important to grow up in two-parent households. Exactly. If you have a father, right? A father's going to teach you how to master your emotions. We're not saying that men, you're not supposed to have any emotions, right? You have to master them. Right? Because if Hamashiach and the Most High were emotional, we'll be dead. Right? But it's because they've mastered their emotions that we've been allowed grace, right? That we've been allowed to continue to survive, even though that we continuously piss off the Most High and Hamashiach daily. with
And
our
that's the
extreme
problem.
wickedness.
Yeah, and that's the problem. So when you see these generation of kids being raised by a bunch of harlots, that's all they have is emotion. I saw a comment. I saw a comment here that makes sense, so much sense, because this is true. You know, a lot of teachers complain about this. This is why they have a hard time finding teachers, especially in inner city areas where there's where the hoods are. It's hard finding teachers because this is the stuff that they deal with every single day. They get their little feelings hurt, and they go back to their little single harlot mothers, and then their mothers come to the school raising hell. What did you say to my son? You said you didn't like what he said. No, all I told him was to sit down in his chair. You know, this stuff like that, man. And this is why Most High says that he's going to rejoice to do evil or to do evil over Israel. Because it's like the more wicked people he get rid of, the better. And I hate to say it, Israel, but only the Most High, he is going to get rid of a lot of our people. And he is going to destroy them. This thing that we're seeing right now is going to play out. And I'm telling you, you think these immigrants that are coming in, I'm not talking about just Mexican immigrants, I'm talking about the Afghan immigrants and other immigrants that have been brought here to replace you. Now, the next thing I've been predicting that they're going to do is they're going to go cold turkey and cut off welfare. Because right now, they're just baiting. They won't, because they know a lot of these single mothers, once they get on welfare, they want to make sure they get them highly dependent upon welfare. You know, you've been on welfare for like 3 years, you want to stay on for a little while. Then you get lazy because anytime, Israel, that you give them any kind of government assistance and you're not trying to do anything to better yourself, and you're just sitting there, it's going to make you lazy. You're definitely not going to want to work. What makes you think you're going to want to support a man? Now, when they cut that stuff cold turkey, I guarantee you, all hell's going to break loose. You're going to see, a lot of women scrambling like you've never seen before.
I just don't understand what's going on, man. It's mind-boggling.
Yeah, and we haven't even seen midnight yet. It's gonna get worse and worse. It's not gonna get better. I'll tell you that right now, because the scripture says that it's not gonna get better. The only way it's gonna get better is when this thing comes to an head, when it plays itself out, and when complete destruction comes, and the Most High reserves the remnant of His people. Because it only said that a remnant was gonna be saved. That's how many. It just said a remnant. What is a remnant? A remnant is a small number, Israel. A remnant has never been a big number. You look at all the destruction that happened, the flood, only 8. Destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, was it only a few? Lot, where actually his 2 daughters, that was back because his wife was turned into a pillar of salt. So she didn't make it out. Because she was still tied to all that wickedness. And that's the problem. Our people are they're extremely tied to wickedness. Me and brother Eitan was talking about this last night. Our people are so tied to wickedness that they love this captivity. They love it here.
They don't even realize they're even in captivity. That's how much they love it here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
They don't even realize that you're in captivity. Right? You're not free. Everything, these heathen have integrated us into everything that they have just to make sure that you'll never be free. This is why the Most High has to free us. We've been integrated in. No matter where you see our people at, right? Israelites that are supposed to be keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments, the holy days, right? No matter where you see our people that we have been integrated in fully with the heathen. We don't have our own areas, our own pieces of land where we are out there congregated together, right? Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. That's not our people. Our people are fully integrated in with the heathen, right? And on top of that, even though we're a small number among the heathen, we see that we're the most ones that are perpetrated on the televisions, on the social media, is doing mass wickedness, homosexuality, transgenderism, anything foolishness that they see, they're going to make sure to put us on the news. They're going to put us on the front street, because you know why? The more things that you see with your eyes, the more things that you're able to take in with your mind. And then if you're weak of spirit, right, you might actually try to emulate those things of wickedness. Look how many of our people out here, say they try to emulate these rappers, these R&B artists, or anybody that's in the spotlight, right? Hollywood and things of that nature. That's what our people try to do instead of being themselves, right? As of, following what God wants to say. Nothing that God says is bad. That's what I'm saying. Like, nothing that God says is bad. Everything that God tells us and all the laws, statutes, and commandments, they deal with discipline. Our people as a nation are undisciplined. That's what the problem is. We're undisciplined. We don't want to abstain from things. We don't want to discipline ourselves from not doing something, right? If you're a karate master, right, you're going to study and you're going to become disciplined in the ways in your art. If you're a gymnast, the same way. If you're a basketball player, the same way. Whatever it is that you do in life, right, to be perfected at it, you're going to have to study and you're going to become disciplined. That means that what? You're going to have to cut out doing certain things. You have to go to sleep at a certain time. You're going to have a certain diet. You know, you got to be disciplined about your life. It is the exact same thing when you keep the law, statutes, and commandments, right? You have to be disciplined about your life. You can't go out here and have sex with with 100 hoes. You can't go out here and open your legs up just because you think this guy, he has a nice car and a nice crib or this, that, and the third, right? It's not going to work like that. You have to be disciplined as a whole for our people to survive.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? This stuff is verse 12, it says, and his mercy is great, so is his correction also. He judgeth a man according to his works. The sinner shall not escape with his spoils, and the patience of the godly shall not be frustrated. Right? If you're a godly man, you're not going to be, if you're a godly man, right? They're not going to be able to get you, right? They're not going to be able to frustrate you into doing wickedness, right? Frustrate you into keeping the same ungodly doctrine that they're doing, right? Because you're going to know that the Most High, just like it says in 12, his mercy is great, so is his correction also, right? You're going to be fearful of that.
You know what's crazy, and all throughout the Torah, our people had to beat a dead horse, and what I mean by that is that when you look at Abraham and the flood, only 8 people. You preached to a whole nation, man. Preached to the whole earth, all right, and for only 8 people to be saved. I mean, that's crazy, y'all. 120 years beating a dead horse. Now you gotta imagine all these people that were hearing the message probably thought Noah and them was crazy. And you had a lot of people like Methuselah who helped with everything, and they died before the flood. But 120 years beating a dead horse. Same thing with Abraham when he was coursing with the Most High about saving those who might be righteous, and in Sodom, and he kept going down and says, hey, if there's 20 righteous, if there's 10, 5, go for it. That right there tells you that no one is going to be righteous. It's going to be the same thing in today's society. Yes, we're beating a dead horse. I'm not going to lie. Yes, we're beating a dead horse, but we are commanded to get this straight testimony. But yes, at the same time, we're beating a dead horse because a lot of people are not going to listen. But you know what? At the end of the day, Israel, no one will have an excuse. No one will have an excuse to say that no one warned me. All right, and that's going to be the beauty of it. And I think that's why the Most High allows this thing to go on. He allows brothers like me and Brother Eitan and other brothers to really put this message out there because no one is going to have an excuse. All right, and so when you're looking at the fact that we're beating a dead horse, it's the facts. All right, Israel, it's just the facts. People are not going to do right collectively. Only a remnant is going to be saved, and like I said earlier, their plan is to cut us completely off. We know that's not going to happen because the Most High is going to have a remnant. But you know what I'm talking about. For the most part, Israel, our people are just being buried alive. And Brother Eitan said it perfectly. Our people don't even realize they're in captivity. They think they are as free as a bird. Just because they can go around, drive around, they may have a good job or something like that, or they may be making, 6 figures. It don't affect me. Oh, everything's going to affect you. Just because you're working in some white man's company, don't mean they like you. But to give it the opportunity, you're going to be pushed out of that soon. You're going to be pushed out of everything. People are already the permanent underclass. And the sad part, people don't even realize it. Go ahead, brother. I'll be right back.
Anything. Right. I want to bring out this scripture, right? Because we have a lot of our people, man. They frequent these Christian churches, right? The same thing, right? They be having, single mothers in the front row. They might have single mothers out there doing all kinds of stuff. You got brothers married to heathens out there. They might be the pastor, right? They might have all kinds of stuff that's going on, right, man? You got a lot of wickedness that's going on. They might be sitting in the front row, right? You done got remarried or whatnot, right? The reason my brother Daniels and myself, we bring out these scriptures constantly over and over again, dealing with the same situation, because right now this is the biggest stumbling block that our nation has right now, right? Is for some reason relationships between our people, they seem to be failing, right? We don't never make it to the golden years, right? We fail in the beginning, not realizing that it's work at the end, right? Even Adam, he had a problem with his wife, right? I mean, she killed him. So, how much more you, brother or sister, right? We have to work. We have to work at it, right? It's not nothing that's going to come easily. Some relationships might come easy, right? But most of them, right? Most of them, we're going to have to work at them, right? Especially to stay together. It says, start in verse 13, right? This witness is true. Wherefore rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in the faith, right? Sound in the faith, that means solid, right? We don't have false doctrines. We're not trying to, tell you things that, that might make you feel good or anything like, man, we're going to tell you the 100% truth. I don't care how bad it hurts, right? Because we're not giving heed to Jewish fables, right? Meaning other niggas that are up there making up, that are making up stuff, right? The commandments of men that turn from the truth, right? That'll tell you, hey, it's okay for you out there to marry a single mother. Or you might have a brother out there, he might be telling you, hey, man, you can have as many heathen women as you want. You can marry Mexicans, right? You can even marry Mexicans or whatever, right? Yeah, man, that ain't right, right? You can look at them and you could tell the genetics are inferior, right? Come on, why would you even mix with that? It says that turn from the truth. Unto the pure, all things are pure, and unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure, right? But even their mind and conscience is defiled, right? So understand it says, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure, but even their mind and conscience is defiled. That's a lot of our people. Our people do not believe in the Most High, right? So their mind and their conscience is defiled, which leads them to do all types of abominable things, all types of abominable works, that they profess that they know God. These same folks, right? That their mind and their conscience is defiled. They profess that they know God, but in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient, and to every good work reprobate. That's what we have in our community, right? You won't see a single mother out there, right? You won't see a twerking woman out there to tell you that they're not a Christian or they don't believe in God, right? Rarely ever do you hear them say they're not a Christian. What I'm saying? Most of them, they always have some kind of spiritualness, or they're all spiritual, right? Or something like that, right? They profess that they know God, but in works they deny him. Same thing with the Noodleback brothers, right? Meatball knee-ass brothers, right? Weak. You don't want to stand for nothing, but you lay down for everything, right? You're abominable. You're disobedient. And into every good work, you're reprobate. You out here, you think it's good to put your old lady on OnlyFans because you're trying to make an extra $1. Nigga, you wicked as hell, right? You out here thinking that it's good, right? It's good to practice sexual immorality because that's just the main situation for our mind, right? Right? It says minds are cooked with the hot iron. They're done. Eggs over easy, right? They done. So, Israel, it's gonna be tough for us. It's gonna be tough for us because just like the scripture said, 15, unto the pure all things are pure, and unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure. But even their mind and conscience is defiled. That's what we're battling with, right? The defiled minds of our youth, the defiled minds of these old women, the defiled minds of these old men, right? Like Brother Daniel saying, man, the Most High, he don't need everybody. He even said that, you know, he'll turn stones.
I know, right?
You know, he'll turn stones into children of Abraham. The Most High don't even need one person, really. Right? So we have to think about it, about how great his grace is for us to continue as a people to be around here doing all this wickedness, right? Sleeping with each other's women, right? Hey, brothers, you think you done did something if you're going after another brother's wife. Nigga, you wicked. You ain't done nothing. You ain't done nothing but got behind another man's, you know, you getting sloppy seconds. I mean, come on, man. You kissing a man's old woman that she been humbled by a whole nother man. You're not doing nothing, right? You weak in the spirit. Abominable. Reprobate. The scriptures speak clearly on how we're supposed to act as a people. I don't know why we continuously act like these damn heathens. We're not heathens, right? We're supposed to be the sons and the daughters of the living God. But for some reason, we don't want to act like that. I don't want to have too much. I don't have too much more. I mean, you know, that's it. I feel like we just, you know, I guess we'll beat this same horse again next week.
Israel,
you know what I mean?
You know what? When the Most High beat a dead horse, that's gonna be it. It ain't gonna be no more second chances. I'm telling you, because Most High ain't gonna put up with it. He's gonna, when he beats a dead horse, it's done. It's done for sure. And our people don't even see the wickedness. They don't even see the danger that are happening. They think, man, if they can just see what we see, brother, see the writing on the wall that our people are purposely being wiped out left and right. Man, I'm telling you, immigrants is even Dr. Claude Anderson talked about this years ago, back in the 90s, that so-called Negroes become the permanent underclass and they will be replaced by all these Hispanics and immigrants. And we way past that.
I mean, like, when are we going to wake up as a people? It's a damn shame. When are we going to wake up and truly see what's going on right between our eyes? Man. When they started putting LGBTQ above our own people, it started making it illegal to say anything against them, right? Or you know, or anything like that, right? When they still get a chance to call you nigga or whatever, and nobody, and come on, man, this stuff is there. Now they passed a law that made it so you can't speak against the fake Jewish people. You know that?
They call it anti-Semitism.
Yep, it's an anti-Semitism law.
You know, anytime you say anything or anything public, they come after you.
When really you're the real, you know, the folks from Shem, right? Khan, right? We're the real descendants of Shem. That's ridiculous.
That was backwards,
right? So until we wake up as a people, until we return back to the Lord, crying and sighing, trying to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, the heathens are going to continuously put their boot in our backsides.
Yep.
Whether you like it or not.
If they can't see it now, no, they won't see it. Not even when it's too late, they still won't see it.
Con. Yeah.
I'm telling you, you're going to see exactly what me and Brother Aton have been talking about. You know, and the scariest part, the ones who really think they're free are the ones who claim they got their good jobs and driving little BMWs and Mercedes and everything. It ain't affecting me. I don't know what y'all talking about. You're about the dumbest person in captivity.
Con. You know, just like this brother right here, Jeremiah the Brew. So, hey, pedos on the rise. That's right.
Yeah.
Right. You know, did you know that pedophiles get less time than bank robbers that have killed nobody? They just taking the government money, right? Pedophiles get less time than them. Did y'all know that?
And they're about to make pedophilia a natural sexual orientation.
Now, the things about this is that, sisters, right? Y'all gonna have to find a way to you know, come out of the thinking of America, and we're gonna have to rebuild our family structure. Because if we don't get a chance to rebuild our family structure, who do you think these pedophiles are going to be after? They're going to be after our children, the children that don't have protection, the children that are raised up by single mothers that are real emotional and that could be easily persuaded into all types of wickedness, as you see our generation now. Right.
So, Sister Tiffany, it says, Shalom, I'm new to the faith and new to your channel. Can y'all explain how our baby daddies are our husbands? So, first of all, the scripture is clear when it says that when you lay down with a man, that is automatically, technically, because you've been humbled by that man. But unfortunately, so many of our people, they're having babies by these different daddies and stuff. You know, a woman is only assigned to one man. You're not going to find nowhere in the scripture where a woman can have multiple men. That's not biblical at all. So technically, the first person you lay down with, all right, without committing to marriage, you have sex, you have intercourse, and brother's gonna pull that up. That is technically who your man is. All right, that's the way it is. That's the way the Most High sees it. The moment you lay down with something, the Most High sees it as marriage as well. And that's why a lot of our sisters are such in deep trouble, because you keep getting with these, not you particularly, but I'm just saying collectively, a lot of our sisters keep getting with these Pookies and Ray Rays. They just looking for a quick fix. They're getting pregnant, not even concerning about bringing a child into the world. This is what you're dealing with. Go ahead, brother, bring that out.
Con, right now, this is what we, maybe you missed the first beginning that when we first started, but this is Genesis chapter 16 and verse 3, right? This is just an example, right? If you want to, I can also go to the law and show you the same situation, right? And it says, in Sarai, Abraham's wife, right? Because Abraham, he already had a wife at this particular time who was Sarah, right? Took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abraham had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abraham to be his wife, right? And he went in unto Hagar, meaning that he gave Hagar unto Abraham for him to sleep with, right? That's what it's talking about, right? The wifing, the wifing of a person, right? In order to consummate the marriage, to become husband and wife, they would have to have had a copulation, right? Or had sex together, whatever you may call it, right? That's the that's the thing to become husband and wife. Well, and I don't really like talking about this because this is but even in the Levitical law, let's say, for example, when a man were to lay hold upon a woman in the field and he were to take her, mm-hmm. right, and they would have sex together and they'd be found out, they become, he has to take her, as his wife ever, and he can't divorce her.
Yeah, right? But he has to give, is it like 30 shekels, something like that? 30
shekels? 50 shekels, right? 50 shekels to the father, right? But what constitutes marriage is laying down and having sex with someone, right? That's why the woman is killed, right? This is why it's death to the woman. She gets stoned to death if she has already slept with someone, right? And then if she's promised to marry to the next man, right? And then he ended up finding out that she's already been with another man. That's why she's stoned to death, because it's adultery.
And see,
right?
this is the important thing. Like, if you go, while it's on my mind, whenever you lay down, you have intercourse, you commit seed with that person. Then you are humble. And that is the most important thing you got to realize. That there's a chemical exchange there. There's a bond. And once you went into a woman and you intercourse with her, that seed, that bond ties you to her forever, and vice versa. So, that's why it's considered a marriage in the sight of the Most High's eyes.
Right. So that's like, let's just say, right? Let's just even though this is, we know in the law that this is what it is, right? For a fact, like every man knows, right? You feel it within yourself. If you have laid down with a woman or whatever, you feel like you have a claim on that woman. It's a natural instinct, right? The reason is because that's the way that you're designed to be, right? A man is supposed to have him, when he lays down with that woman becomes his. There's no, I know that nobody wants to believe that you're, your property or anything of that nature, but Ecclesiasticus, it says that a woman becomes a man's possession after that particular time, right? Because you're taken into his program under his roof, right? And then he's supposed to be able to provide for you, right? Like with the children you're given, you know what I'm saying, so forth and so on. And then whatever program that he has you on, right, that's what you're supposed to do. That was just like Eve, right? She was built to be a helpmate. The scriptures say in Corinthians that that the woman was made for the man, not the other way around, right? So that means that if you're made for the man, right, that means that you have become a possession. It's not that you have your own ideas or whatever you have, or you want to pursue your own career, your own life, or whatever this has to do with anything. Now, of course, like before a man finds you to be a wife, or before you are found to be a wife, of course, do something with yourself, right? I do suggest that you go out and you study, you get some, say you do get some kind of knowledge, underneath your belt, so that way you can be an asset when it comes to raising the children, right? But when it comes time for you to get married, or you find a husband or whatnot, you need to lay down whatever else that you were doing beforehand, right? You don't need to worry about money or whatever you had beforehand, the situation, unless y'all have some type of plan, or y'all have it already planned out that you're supposed to be doing, X amount of you bringing in maybe 25% of the income, or 30% of the income, while he bringing in the other 80 or 70% of the income. If you have a part-time job somewhere, or because not everybody is rich to the point where, I wouldn't say rich, but they're not financially stable in order to pay all the bills while the woman stays home to take care. But however, I'm not all you brothers that are not able to do that, I do suggest that you make a valiant effort to do that, because every man should be able to do that with the spirit that the Most High has given them, right? And the Most High has not given us the spirit of laziness, even though we're trying to dwell in that, right? The Most High, he wants us to do our best, and no matter what we do, right, the Most High, he's going to bless you, right? So if you need to do extra this or extra that to go ahead and get in what you need to get in, hey, that's what you need to do. Like Abraham, right? Abraham trained his warriors, right? Abraham had a lot of stuff going on. I guarantee you that he wasn't spending every waking hour with Sarah, right? Sarah had things that she had to do that the Most High, that he had doing her, that he had her doing, right? While in the meantime, just you see that Abraham was working, right? Abraham was a working man, and he was getting it done. As at the same time, he was dealing with the Most High. So he had a lot on his plate, right? And he had a wife that understood that because he was a man of so much means, he had a lot to do, that she wasn't always harassing him about, being there and this, that, and the third, right? Because she realized that this was a man of means, and he had things that he needed to get done. I'm pretty sure in their golden years, right, when we saw that, she was older and things of that nature, Abraham, he got to chill out a little bit, right? He got to chill with Sarah, the kids, and chill the hell out. But in the beginning, right, the beginning was tough, right? Look, look what Sarah went through all those years, right? Sarah had a child when she was in her 90s or 80s. I can't remember, right? But I know she was old as hell when she had that child, right? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? When he had that child. Also, right, you gotta look at it like this too, right? He has a right to he has a right to think that, right? Because at the same time, right, if you're dealing with some other man, that's causing a confusion for the son. That's causing a confusion for the child, right? He should never look to any other man, period, right? To try to take over a a fatherly duty at all. The man, he's actually worried about the influence that any outside forces are having to do with his children. Now that he has no longer any control over his marriage, because y'all are married, best believe that y'all are married. He's worried now. He's worried now because you're not in his you're no longer on his program. You're no longer there for him to see what's going on, to try to raise up the family as he has, as he sees fit as a man.
Yeah. And here's the thing too, because he still, for the sake of your son, he still has to have a relationship with you. All right. And especially if you're allowing him, so it looks like you're, allowing him to be in his life. Some women out there just plain on wicked. They won't even let their kids to have anything to do with their fathers. Which is sad, which is unbiblical. But
yeah, try to pray and ask the Most High to give you a spirit of mercy, that maybe that y'all can reconcile, because at the point when y'all have a children, right, when any man or any woman has children, it's not about them anymore, right? It's not about you. It's not about your wife anymore. It's about you, teaching that child and showing that child the correct action and the correct way to live so they can grow up in the law, statutes, and commandments, right? So they can take that on to the next generation and on to the next nation. If the father and mother are at odds and y'all not getting along and the child does not see a healthy relationship, right? A healthy joining of two individuals, a man and a woman, right? Going forth and working in cooperation to keep the law, statutes, and commandments in order to make a living, how are they going to be able to show that, to his wife or to his family, right? Like we have a lot of our children out here that are raised up by single mothers, or they're not able to see a fruitful relationship, right? That can therefore transfer to the next generation. They're not going to know what to do, right? Because they don't have a father to see, how he's supposed to handle the family or how he's supposed to run the family, right? That's just, it's not going to be good. Nothing is good in the beginning, right? As it is in the end, right? In the beginning, there's always trials and tribulations. There's you got to test things. So that's just like with any great invention. Anything that our mind decides to do in the beginning is always not the most perfect thing, right? This is why we have the scriptures to give us to give us the map to get there, right? We have the scriptures there to give us the way, right? Because we're not going to be able to do everything on our own. Everything that we first try on our own is never going to, I would say most of the time, it's not going to turn out perfect in the beginning, right? You have to learn how to cook, right? So you're not going to make your first cake and then all of a sudden it turns out perfectly. It's going to take trial and effort, right? A little tricks of the trade that you might have learned from your grandma, this, that, and the third, right? It's going to take work. Everything we do takes work. Education takes work. You get these jobs, you get these skills. Everything takes work. It's the same thing with relationships, right? You just have to be able to stick it out. You got to have the discipline and the patience to stick these relationships out. In the beginning, man, y'all not going to get along. First of all, we're children of the God, of the Most High, coming up in the heathen nation with Satan traveling up and down the earth, walking to and fro, doing the most that he can to make sure that y'all don't get it.
Yeah, like we were saying before, technically you're still married to him. So, like Brother Eitan was saying, you need to pray to the Most High that can be reconciled so we can get back, because you can't get with no other man after that. That's it. So just make sure you focus on that. You still there? You might have froze up or something. I don't know what happened, but anyway. But yes, it's just be patient. Don't get with no other man right now. If you have to remain by yourself or whatever, then that's what you do. All right. So, but hey, look, Israel, want to really thank y'all for coming on board and everything. And I think Brother Eitan is having some internet issues. We was pretty much on the end verge of it anyway. So yeah. But give me a second. Yeah, but Israel, while he's restarting and everything, that's right. We got a long ways. We got a long ways to go. But Israel, but the whole point of this is, look, we want to see our people turn towards righteousness. All right, and I know it feels like it is, beating a dead horse and everything, but this is something that we have to do. Something has to be done. You're gonna have to see this with your own eyes, because like the Most High is really taking our people through some serious fire. And the sad part about it is that our people are so stubborn, so stiff-necked, that they refuse to even acknowledge. I mean, it's like somebody's on their back and you being kicked after death, and with people you can't even fight, you're still trying to get up and everything. But But you too proud to realize you getting your butt kicked. You know? Yep. And so Israel, you know, that's the problem with our people. All right. But let me show you something right. Well, you know what? Give me a second, because I'm going to show you what's going to have to happen in order for our people to cry out. It said we're going to have to eventually get back to these laws, commandments, and statutes, Israel. We're going to have to, and it's not going to work no other way, right? And so, you know, we're going to have to keep. Well, you're going to have to work out your faith. You're going to have to work out your salvation with fear and trembling. But in the book of Jasher, chapter 1, you know, it essentially says that 14 through 16 that our people are going to go wrong according to the new moons and what have you. And we're going to have to, the only way that most of us going to hear is we're going to have to cry out. We're not crying out right now because we hate the commandments. We literally hate the commandments, Israel. So let me show you that right quick. All right, let's go to, I'll show you in the book where it says that at.
Slakia, Israel. Satan's busy.
So let's go to the book of Jubilees, chapter 1. I'm going to read verses 14 through 16. Let me share my screen so y'all can see that. Then we'll end it with this.
Can you hear me out?
Yeah, I can hear you. All right, so let's look at 14. It says, "And I will hide my face from them and will deliver them into the hand of the other nations for captivity and for a prey and for devouring." Now, Israel, we can be here all day just breaking this down what this means. But that means that the heathens are having their way with us. All right, to put it in a nutshell, the heathens they're being allowed to do anything and everything they want to do to us. "And I will remove them from the midst of the land, and I will scatter them amongst the other nations," which we are in right now. "And they will forget all my Torah and all my commandments," because nobody wants to keep the laws, "and all my judgments. And I will go astray, as to the new moons and Shabbats and feasts and jubilees and ordinances," because nobody wants to keep the commandments, statutes. Verse 16, "And after this, they will turn to me from another amongst the other nations with all their heart and with all their soul and with all their strength." We're not doing that right now, Israel. This is probably 1,000 years from now, maybe 3,000 years from now. Who knows? "And I will gather them from amongst all the other nations, and they will seek me, so that I shall be found of them when they seek me with all their heart and with all their soul." Only a remnant is going to be doing that, Israel, because the Most High is going to break our numbers down so far to we get to the point where we're nothing but a remnant. All right. So, hey, this is it, Israel. Like I said, you know, our people, as far as people crying out, we're not doing that. Ain't nobody crying out. You can't count yourself as crying out as the Most High, as representing everybody else. No, like I said, we're only as strong as our weakest link. You can cry all you want to, but collectively, if Israel being wicked, we're gonna be here. We're gonna be here probably. I don't know. We don't know the time. It could be 1,000, it could be 100, it could be 3,000 years. So Israel, don't get it twisted.
We're all we got. Yeah. We're all we got, Israel. We got to realize that. Yeah. Right? Until we realize that, we're not going to get up out of here. So we got to try to get along with each other, men and the women alike.
So Israel, I don't have anything. We're going to let you get back to your Shabbat. And so with that being said, we say Shabbat Shalom.
And stay strong.
Ooh.